Welcome all sports fans, YouTubers, and Facebookers all across the nation. This is In the Paint with my man Red. I'm your host, Carlos Clayton. This is Devontae Roan, a.k.a. Red, and we got some major news in the NBA season going on. Lonzo Ball, we got Jamal Crawford traded Minnesota. We got the biggest winners and the losers as well of the offseason. So, that being said, 1 second in the lane. We got Lonzo Ball, who he's the megastar of Summer League. I haven't heard this much hype in Summer League since probably Kevin Durant, maybe LeBron James. But Lonzo Ball bring the crowd out. We all know about his epic failure in the first game. And we all know about his triumphant comeback in the second game, triple-double. Let me know how you feel about his game, his overall first two games. Did people overreact? Did they underreact? And how you feel about him coming out in the second game and actually having a good game?
Well, I kind of feel like Lonzo Ball, he's a pretty good player. I like him. But, I mean, you can't come out and, a lot of people saying you have all this hype and all this, greatness, and you come out and you show one of your worst performances that I'm ever going to see, 5 points, you know what I'm saying? We're not used to that. But with that being said, it's like, I mean, you're supposed to be this big name person, right. You know what I'm saying, and you're coming out playing worse. I understand it's your first, playing with grown men because you've been playing in college ball. College ball is like, middle-aged, man. Not middle-aged, but I mean like, young kids. Young kids. Yeah. But this is grown man basketball we're talking about. So, I mean, and I kind of feel like your second game was much better. You showed yourself. You end up contributing to, putting points on the board, assisting, rebounding, scoring. And I like the triple-double by you. But with that being said, your first game was just like, no, son, no, it wasn't good. It wasn't good at all. But I like you, though. You're a pretty good player.
I mean, do you call it nerves? Was it nerves, do you think? Or was it maybe...
I think it was kind of the goosebumps. You want to show the world that you were the best, and you really didn't show it at all in the first game. Right. I mean, so I guess it's just a little butterflies, in your stomach. You know what I'm saying? He had to get them in and then get them out. So that's how I feel about that.
Well, I know those guys on ESPN, those guys, they get paid to make things worse than what it really is. So my thing is, did you overreact? Because I didn't overreact to Lonzo's horrible game. I didn't overreact, but I mean, most people will just because they get paid to do that stuff. But I mean, did you overreact, or you just say, you know what, first game of the year of the summer league at that, he's gonna be okay?
No, I didn't really overreact, but it's like I said, you are a big name player. You say he's gonna be. You say you're better than LeBron. That's what I heard. So I mean, I wanted to see. Yeah, well, your dad was saying that you was better than LeBron, and that's what I wanted to see. You know what I'm saying? From the jump, from out the gate, you gotta come out swinging. So that's what I wanted to see, and I didn't see it in the first game. So it's kind of like you're gonna be an all right player. You're not gonna be better than LeBron. No, you're not. But you're gonna be an all right player. That's how I feel about that.
His shot. Everyone keeps talking about that funky looking shot. He has I don't know what it is, but he has to take a step back. It seems like it's going to get blocked every time he shoots it, but he finds a way to get it over the defender. Now, he's been shooting like that his whole entire career. I understand that. But now, like you said, he's playing against grown-ups now, guys who've been there, done that in this league now. I think the shot might hold him back, but you don't want him to change the shot because he's been doing it his whole entire career, so don't change it now. But I think it's cringeworthy every time you see it. I don't know. I can't really explain it, but how you feel about his shot.
I mean, it goes in,
right.
But it's kind of ugly.
Yeah.
I mean, me being a big man, my shot looks better than that. You know what I'm saying? I have a floater. You know what I'm saying? A float, just let it fly. Let it rain. But I mean, with that shot being kind of like unorthodox, it's like why do you shooting sideways like? I mean, and you're supposed to go up,
right.
Over your forehead. I mean, I don't know. Hey. But, I mean, it still goes in, hey, I've seen it go in. So
you can't knock the percentages.
But it's ugly.
Yeah, I mean, in college it was 40% from three, and that's excellent for anybody. So
right.
That was first, second in the lane. Now, 2 seconds in the lane, I want to talk about your boy, Jamal Crawford. He was traded from the Clippers, and he went to Atlanta, where he played at before, so you kind of figured he'd have a little, he'd be all right in Atlanta, but Atlanta's rebuilding. We know that. Atlanta's, they scrapped everything. They are done. They're starting over, and I don't blame them at all. So once they waived Jamal Crawford, he went on Twitter and thanked them and everything, Instagram, thanked the organization for letting him go. The word on the street was saying Cleveland was the team to get him. Cleveland had all the tools to get him. He wanted to go to Cleveland. That's why I kept hearing it from everybody. And then all of a sudden, the old okie doke happens. Out the blue, Minnesota, who is surprisingly having a great offseason, picks up probably one of the best 6 men to ever play this game in Jamal Crawford in a surprising fashion. My thing is, the question I want to ask you, is it just the city of Cleveland? Is it the city that no one wants to go to? Or is it the money? Because you think about it, no big free agent willingly, besides LeBron, has willingly come to Cleveland to play. You know, no one's big. You got Love in a trade. You got Kyrie because you drafted him. You know, LeBron is the only one. LeBron had to go out to get his rings, to start off getting his rings at first. So is it just the city, or is it just the money factor that's going on right now?
I mean, I don't think it's too much of the city right now, but I think it's because of the money. I mean, we don't have any money to sign anybody. And if we do have some money, it's like a very low contract, like a $5 million contract.
Right.
So, I mean, with big-name free agents, they want money. So we can't just go out and get, a Paul George or Carmelo Anthony or something like that, because we just don't have the money. We can pull off a Carmelo deal, but it's going to have to be a 3-team trade.
Right.
Which, with the Knicks, they don't really, they really want something in return in order to unload Melo.
Right.
So, I mean, I feel like that our money situation is very, very, got us way, way back. And I think we are just going to keep the same team rolling. And if they can get back to the finals, I feel like we might have a good chance to win it, or we might not, because we don't know what's going to happen between now and the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? So, but our money situation is just like completely down.
Okay. I
mean, we just have no money at all.
Speaking of the money, rumors had it that Cavaliers wanted to get their guy from Turkey, Seti Osman. They got him. I'm sorry if I messed his name up, but Seti Osman from Turkey. But they were letting Jamal Crawford know, you might have to take less money because we already got this guy from Turkey coming down on our team, and we got to pay him more than the $816,000 that was kind of guaranteed to him. So the thing was, like, they kind of not really picked him, because you just don't. I'm pretty sure there was something already agreed upon for the guy to come down to play for Cleveland, but they already had Seti Osman in their bag, so it's kind of like they picked him over Jamal Crawford. But I think Jamal Crawford, at the end of the day, he just said, you know what, I want $8 million. I don't want the 5 or the 4 that y'all trying to give me. Mm. So, I kind of don't blame him. Cause the reason why I asked about the city, because he chose Minnesota. And from what I know out there, it's pretty damn cold in Minnesota. and ain't nothing going out there besides sports stuff. Right. Same thing with Cleveland. I mean, so I just thought, like, is it the actual city of Cleveland? Is it the state of Ohio that they just don't want to go? Is it boring out there? I don't know. Yeah.
It's not boring out there. It's just we don't have any money.
Right.
And I mean, I can't blame Jamal Crawford for going with the money. I understand you're getting up in the age, so you want to at least contend for a title. But I mean, if you was coming to Cleveland, you would have to take that low money, because we don't have any. We took all our money and put it in our players, and mostly our starting lineup.
Right.
So we don't really have that type of money, but it would have been nice to have you on the Cleveland Cavaliers squad.
Could you imagine that? He would have
come off the bench and be a scorer, and be a kind of sort of facilitator and run the second unit. And I mean, it would have been a very nice thing to see with him and Shumpert.
That's why there was so much hype, because he fit what LeBron wants. Basically, it's tough to say you say LeBron, but he fits the Cavaliers system.
Right.
Yeah, and he fitted so well. He was the kind of guy that you could have Kyrie and LeBron out for, sparing them 2-3 minutes at the same time, and he can kind of run that offense, not so much the defense, but he can run the offense, because he can still dribble the ball, and he has still great decision-making skills for his age. So, That being said, he goes to Minnesota, and Minnesota's having an amazing offseason. We said Jeff T, they signed Jimmy Butler for the trade, and then now they got Jamal Crawford. So Minnesota is showing that. I heard some people say, man, they might be the second best team in the West. I'm a little too far-fetched. How do you feel about Minnesota right now?
I mean, I kind of feel like they will contend. They probably get into the second round of playoffs, and they probably make it to 7 games.
So you're saying playoffs?
Yeah, I'm saying playoffs.
Okay, because they ain't been in a long time.
Yeah, they ain't been in a long time. I think they'll make the playoffs.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? If they come together as one and play as their team is on paper, I think they really have a good chance to contend with Houston Rockets or Oklahoma City Thunder or San Antonio Spurs. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, what I feel about them is like y'all have a pretty decent team now. Let's see y'all do. Let's see at least y'all make it to the playoffs.
Right.
That's what I really want to see from the Minnesota Timberwolves.
All right. Well, we're done with our 2 seconds in the lane. Now we're going on to our 3rd second in the lane. James Harden signed the biggest extension in NBA history. They're talking 4 years, $170 million. It's crazy. Like, that is just an extension. This isn't just like, man, like, your biggest stats back in the day, man, when guys got $30 million, people were like, what is going on? And now your average shows are getting $25 million. But he gets an extension, 4 years, $170 million. It gets him, I think, past 2023, I believe, as well. How do you feel about him being extended at this particular time? I
mean, I think it's a pretty good deal for him. He is an all-star player, and he's a runner-up for MVP, and I think he deserves it. But I mean, you on the defensive side of the ball, you got to show yourself. I mean, they paying you this money. You got offense, but where's your defense? You know what I'm saying? And that's all I want to see from James. I want to see him be a better defender. And also, you added Chris Paul to your repertoire.
He's going to make him better.
Yeah,
he's going to make him play defense.
Yeah. So, I mean, with that being said, I just want to see y'all play a pretty good game. I want to see y'all at least in the second round of the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Now that James Harden has the money, show me the money, man. show me the money, baby.
Well, so the good thing about this trade, if you're a Rockets fan, is that the extension, it doesn't even start till the 2019 season, which means he's still under his old contract, which means they still have a chance at Carmelo Anthony. Now, we all know that Carmelo's trying to get out, or someone's trying to get out. We don't know what's going on, because until Carmelo officially takes out his no-trade clause, he's still going to be in New York. But the word on the street is the extension is not till 2019, which gives him a chance to still get Carmelo. Do you see that deal happening? Carmelo going to Houston? Do you see that before the regular season begins or training camp? Do you see Carmelo Anthony being in the Houston Rockets uniform?
I can say yes, because I kind of feel like he wants out of New York.
Right.
I kind of feel like the organization has not treated him. They had treated him well, but it's kind of like not giving him any help.
Right.
You know, so they're giving him a bunch of no-name players to come play with him, and it's not helping him contend for at least a playoff spot or even get in a playoff spot. And I mean, they haven't been right since, J. Kidd and Stoudemire and all those people.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I haven't seen them in the playoffs since that year. They first signed Myers Stoudemire, and then they got Carmelo and all this stuff. So I kind of think with that being said, I kind of think like that he's going to be out. I kind of feel like he will either be traded to the Rockets or get bought out by the Knicks, and I think either the Cleveland Cavaliers or the Houston Rockets are going to pick up that contract.
I mean, one thing about Melo, you might not like his game and what he is, but one thing about him is he is business savvy, he is smart. He is not going to let go of that no-trade clause until he's guaranteed I can go to Houston or to Cleveland, because if he said no, take it off, they could trade him anywhere they want to just to get rid of him. He's like, no. I need guaranteed confirmation it's either Houston or Cleveland, because I'm not going to let go of my no-trade clause, and I don't blame the man for that. I think, in my opinion, I see him going to Houston. I still do. Some way, somehow, he's going to end up in a Rockets uniform. I don't see Cleveland. Cleveland just has too many issues with their personnel. Yeah. But I think the Rockets have the personnel to give Houston and the draft picks as well to give New York, So I think that by the end, before the regular season starts or training camp, I believe that Carmelo will be in the Houston Rockets uniform. So we'll see about that, man. So that's very, very big news as well. So that's 3 seconds in the lane with Paint. Let's talk about our biggest winners and the biggest losers of this offseason. I'm talking about the draft, talking about the trading, talking about free agency. Right now, give me who was your biggest winner of the draft? I mean, of the offseason so far, the biggest winner.
My biggest winner will probably have to be the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Yeah.
With the sign with Jeff Teague, and then they traded for Jimmy Butler, and they already have Anthony Towns, Wiggins, and then they just added Jamal Crawford.
That team I'm surprised. So quickly, they just got loaded that fast. Like they're loaded now.
Yeah, they are very loaded, and I like it. So I think they're the biggest winners out of the offseason, trades and free agency and stuff like that. I think they're the biggest winners, and I really think they will contend. But still, you also have to think too, Warriors. Who's going to beat the Warriors? And they have enough, but I don't think it's too much that is really going to wear with the Warriors, But I think they might give them a run for their money.
They give them a run. Yeah. Like you said, I think the Warriors did a good job this season, just getting the people back.
Yeah,
that's all they needed. Like just get everybody. The whole gang is back. You sign Livingston. You sign Iguodala back. You get those guys, and you sign Zaza Pachulia back. He didn't make really a big difference, but you sign him back, and and then you get Nick Young as well, who just lights it up from the 3-point land. Swaggy P. So, 32 years old, man. I didn't know his swag was that old.
I didn't know that either.
He's that old. 32 is so immature. Yeah. But you come to Oakland, Golden State, you got to change your mentality because they're all about winning. They're in a winning program now. But I think, like you're right, Minnesota, I believe, won the offseason. Just alone, you get probably one of the better six mans in the game. You get Jeff Teague, who's a top 10 to 15 point guard, and you land Jimmy Butler, who is a superstar in this league, with the young cats, Andrew Wiggins and Karl Anthony Towns. So that team right there is loaded. Give me in your opinion, your biggest loser of the offseason, and why?
My biggest loser will probably have to be, I'll probably say Oklahoma City Thunder.
Okay.
With the George there, I understand that yes, you want to give Russell Westbrook some help. But that's still also, that's a 1-year rental.
It's a rental, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you don't know what it's going to do, you know what I'm saying? After this season is over, you know what I'm saying, is he going to stay or is he going to leave? You know what I'm saying? You pulled off a trade, you got him, but it's like he's there for one season, and if everything doesn't go as planned as one season, like say for instance, you guys don't make the playoffs in the one season, most definitely he's gone. Yeah. So, I mean, it depends on how y'all season is going to play out, if he's going to stay or is he going to leave.
Yeah, it's crazy because outside of an NBA championship, I don't see Paul George actually staying in Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
Unless they make a crazy run for the finals or in the Western Conference Finals, which could happen if all things click for them. That's one thing about Minnesota as well, too. Minnesota, they won the offseason, but can they make it click?
Yeah.
A lot of teams come in with big names and they can't function together. But same thing with Oklahoma City. I feel what you're saying because it is basically a 1-year rental. He can come in and then, you know what, this isn't, no, thank you guys for the opportunity, but I'm going to LA regardless. I wasn't lying about that. So I see why you would say that. And Russell Westbrook still doesn't have his money yet. I mean, he will get it, hopefully, if he decides, but he hasn't decided that he wants to get his $200 million deal yet. Right. So a lot of this Paul George is they're riding a lot on this one season to entice Russell Westbrook. You show them that you can give him help, but if this George still doesn't work out, it could be a domino effect for Oklahoma. Because Russ could be like, you know what, I'm not feeling OK City either. I'm out. And then now you're starting from scratch all over again if you're the Thunder. So I feel on that. So Red's biggest winner is the Minnesota Timberwolves. His biggest losers, Oklahoma City Thunder. I think my biggest winner will probably be Minnesota or Golden State. Look. Let's go on with it. I think the biggest loser, our last talk is our Cleveland Cavaliers talk. And I got to be honest with you, man. I think the biggest loser, in my opinion, is the Cleveland Cavaliers of this whole entire offseason. Right. They're the one team that went out for every single superstar you could think of. They went out for Paul George. They went out for, they tried to get Carmelo, but you don't see Carmelo going over there now. They tried so many draft trades, so many draft nights. At the draft night, they tried all the trades they tried and free agency, and they haven't got anybody. I mean, when you get Jose Calderon and then you get Jeff Green, and that's your consolation prize, and you're this big team that's going to contend, you just want to be. They're like, we just want to beat one team, y'all. We need one player to beat one team. Please come to us. And no one is going to Cleveland at all. No big name is going. And I find it fascinating that who doesn't want to play LeBron James? Like, who doesn't want to play LeBron? If I'm that one person, I want to go to Cleveland, even if it's for a year. I can care less. It's a crappy. If some people think it's a crappy city, which I doubt it is. I don't. Yeah, it's a beautiful city, but in my opinion, I think Cleveland just isn't getting any good luck, and you can blame management for all the deals they made, and kind of blame LeBron too for being general manager. But let's talk about the Cleveland Cavaliers. I know that's your team, so give me your final thoughts on how their offseason has gone, and what do you think they can do to get better?
I kind of feel like the Cavaliers, what they can do to get better is just play better defense,
right?
Play at a high level, and just come to play. I mean, we really can't do anything in the offseason, as you say. We have no money, and if we do, we got like $5 million to sign a player,
right?
And nobody, and with the big contracts going on now, then nobody want just a $5 million contract. So our best thing to do is just take what we can get, and just roll with it, and just make some magic happen. I mean, I guess you should go out there and just give it your all. Like I said, we have Kyrie Irving, we have LeBron James,
right.
We have Kevin Love, and then we also Tristan, offensive rebounder, pretty good. JR just got to play at a better level, and I feel like that we just gotta do better.
I feel like if Cleveland never came out publicly and said, "Hey, we're trying to get people," and no one came, that's why they're getting a lot of flack. But they would have sat back and like, you know what? We're not going to say anything. Let's just do us. And if they didn't get the people, they wouldn't have got as much flack. It's kind of like they're kind of desperate because they're trying to. It's almost like they're the ex-girlfriend trying to get the man back, and trying to be better than the chick that's getting them, and they can't for some reason. So it feels like they're grasping for air, and they can't get anything because they don't have any money. But they had their big mouths. It's like, we got to get players to come in to beat one team. And I'm like you. Get the guys we got right now. Rally the troops up. We got a squad that can go to the finals.
Yeah.
Anything that can happen on that West side. The West is so loaded now. Mm-hmm. Look, yes, Golden State seems like they're a very unbeatable team, but anything can happen. Injuries can happen. Mm-hmm. You can't discount that. And then you had these great teams that can probably beat the Warriors in a 7-game series. You never know. So if I'm Cleveland, relax. Like Aaron Rodgers said it best, RELAX, relax. We got this. When it gets down to that, then we'll worry about it once we get to the finals. Right. We'll worry about that, man. So I feel what you're saying, man. Any last words, brother?
I hope this next season just be a pretty good season.
Yeah.
I want to see a lot from the West.
Okay.
I want to see the Timberwolves in the playoffs. I want to see the Rockets getting out of the second round. And hopefully somebody can beat the Warriors. That's what I really want. I want somebody to beat the Warriors, even though I know that's not going to happen. But I mean, hey,
you never know,
say
man. You never know. Yeah.
Let's pray to the Lord and be like, Lord, let somebody beat the Warriors, please.
Yeah, I got you.
And we just want to have a pretty decent season. We don't, want nobody pulling no Charles Oakleys. We don't want that no more. We don't need that anymore.
Right.
Hopefully Carmelo can be in a different uniform next season.
Okay.
We're looking forward to that. And other than that, I mean, the free agency is still going on right now. We had a couple trades going down. Just to mention, DeMar Carroll just got traded to the Nets. That's a pretty nice pickup for them. Hopefully he can be somewhat of a leader, because I mean they need some leadership.
Yeah, they need
with
someone.
Brook Lopez is gone. So, I mean, you need some type of leadership.
Right.
Who else? I like what's going on out west, too. Vince Carter just came back. He signed a 1-year deal with the Sacramento Kings. I love that.
Sacktown doing their thing.
Zach Randolph.
George Hill.
Yeah, but Zach Randolph also signed with the Sacramento Kings. So hopefully we see the Sacramento Kings do something this year.
The West is crazy.
Hopefully they can at least get a 7th or 8th spot in the playoffs and try to make some noise. Who else? Rudy Gay signed I think a 2-year deal with the San Antonio Spurs. That's a pretty decent pickup.
Yes.
Hopefully he can get his defensive mind up and with Kawhi and they can really do something with Gasol, and hopefully Tony Parker comes back and play another season, and I think they'll be all right. And they also used to got Big Patty, so I think the Spurs will be all right this next season that's coming in. But other than that, go Cavaliers. Hopefully we got some money. We can make something happen, some shape. Free up some money. That's all I can say. Real some
all
money.
right.
Yeah.
Well, we will say to wrap it up, this offseason has been much more exciting and more entertaining than the regular season / playoffs of last year was. So that's kind of a rarity, but it kind of brings you a fresh breath for the next season. Even though it might be the same way again,
Right.
but at least you have hope now that things could be a little different, man. So next episode, we'll give a more recap on the NBA offseason, and we'll talk about more summer league action, something like that, whatever current it is when we come back, man. So for Devontae Roan, I'm Carlos Clayton. This is In the Paint with Red. Stay smart, stay uneducated. Let's go.
All right.